Hello there. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. So many of you may have seen through my Facebook or through my Instagram that I recently went vegan. That's right, this girl used to smuggle like chips and chocolate and of course my Juicy Tarts in my purse is now vegan. However, many of you may not know or understand why I actually became vegan. So that's kind of the purpose of this video, is to give you guys a little bit of background on why I did it and to share some exciting news with you guys. So why did I become a vegan? So when I first started my company about 5 years, Campbell is going to be 5 years in December, I knew that I wanted to follow in the greats of like Dave Jatera and Preston Bailey and have my own some sort of like event planning publication. I didn't know at that time what it was going to be. I thought it was going to be an eco-friendly magazine or a book or something because I love to like recycle and repurpose things. And so fast forward to last year actually, I had the opportunity to go to Mexico for a retreat. The purpose of this retreat was to detox mind, body, and spirit. So we were on this island and we had limited cell phone service. We were served organic food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And we actually got to watch videos of like of how our food was being processed, and we had to partake in yoga, which was kind of fun because I've never really done yoga before like that. And so also while you were there, you got to get your blood drawn and you got to actually analyze it on the screen. And so when you first arrive, or the day after you arrive, I'm sorry, you got your blood drawn. So you kind of can see the transition between when you first started to like when you leave the trip. And so it was my turn to get my blood drawn, and I knew that I was about to be embarrassed because I may or may not have binged on candy before I left because I knew that I wasn't going to get candy on this trip. And so it's my turn, and the doctor is like, Lauren, did you binge on candy before you came? And I was so disappointed because he found out my secret. And I was like, okay, I shouldn't be laughing, but I was laughing. And I was like, yes, I did. And he was like, Lauren, look at your blood. It's like, it was like not, it wasn't even moving. It was moving, but it was going like really slow. And that's not good for your blood to actually be moving slow. And so he's like, Lauren, if you just see how your blood is now, and then watch how it will change over these next few days while you're here, since your body's being detoxed. And I was like, okay, sure, whatever. Like, I didn't really know. It's the day before we leave, and our blood gets drawn again, and it was a complete like 180 because my blood was actually moving, and yeah, it was a complete different thing. I was like, whoa, only in a week. I can only imagine if we did it for a lifetime. So he's like, Lauren, just keep this up, keep like a healthier lifestyle, just watch what you eat, and don't binge on candy anymore. And I was like, okay, sure, I won't. But let's be honest, a week after the trip, I did not immediately go on a healthier eating habit lifestyle. I didn't change, maybe about a week and a half after my trip, that I noticed that my body was reacting differently to the foods that I once loved. Like my sweet tarts made me almost want to throw up, and snacks and different things, just my bodies were just rejecting it. And so I realized that after that trip, my body probably would never be the same, and it hasn't. Even to this day, it has not been the same since I left that trip. And so I know God was telling me in my heart, he's like, Lauren, you need to pay attention. I need you to get healthier. So I was like, okay. Didn't know why. I don't know what he's preparing me for, but I was like, okay, Lord, I'm gonna start this organic lifestyle, non-GMO lifestyle. So that's what I did. And so fast forward to 6 months ago, I was kind of curious, and I was like, let's go. I told my assistant, like, let's go to this vegan festival. I didn't know anything about being vegan. I didn't know what vegan was. I just knew not to expect any sort of meat at this festival. And so we get there, and we are immediately blown away of how many people are actually at this event. It was like in the thousands. I was like, whoa, I did not know this many people were actually interested in becoming vegan, or were vegans, or living the lifestyle of being vegan. And throughout the actual event, my sister and I were noticing that people were complaining about how unorganized it was and how long the lines were. And so the inner planners that we were like, oh, we can do this. We can plan an event like this, and it shouldn't be too hard. And we were just feeling ourselves that day. But as we were walking to another food line, we passed this actual vegan magazine. And so I stopped. I was immediately intrigued, and I was like, had the chance to talk to the editor-in-chief of that magazine, and she was kind of telling me like the struggles of how her magazine came to what it is today, and the process that she went through and what the magazine was about. And I was like, wow, this is like really cool. I didn't know if this thing existed, anything like this existed. And so I left her booth feeling like a seed was planted. And so I was like, what is this? Like, I don't know. It was like the weirdest thing. I was like, what is this, Lord? Like, why do I feel so connected to this lifestyle that I knew nothing about? And so that night I went to sleep and I woke up and God was like, Lauren, you need to shift your focus from eco-friendly to vegan. And okay, I literally started laughing because I was like, Jesus, you know that it was a struggle getting to be organic and non-GMO, and now you want me to be vegan, or actually have a vegan magazine, and I'm not even vegan. And so he reminded me, like, Lauren, he reminded me in that moment that he's preparing me for a time like this. And so I was like, okay, Lord, here's the vision before the lifestyle, so I'm just going to have to do my research and figure out what this is, because I knew nothing about it. And so from then, I started doing research, and I was like immediately was just drawn, because I did not know, and I'm pretty sure many of you may not know, that anything that you can do for a regular wedding or an event, you can actually do it vegan style. So for like vegan shoes, there's vegan tuxedos, there's vegan wedding dresses, there's vegan centerpieces and vegan favors. This whole other world that's not really tapped into. It's tapped into here and there, like you'll see in different bridal magazines that, oh, let's feature a vegan a vegan wedding or a vegan party. But it's not a magazine out there that actually focuses on the whole process of event planning for vegans. And so that's where I come in. That's the kind of exciting news I'm excited to share with you guys. I am now the editor-in-chief, it's kind of crazy to say that now, of a magazine called Phil Magazine. It's a vegan event planning magazine. I started it maybe 4 or 5 months ago. But it's in its actual first stages. We're currently working on the first issue. I know, mind blowing. Like, to see where I've come in such, like, just in a year where God has taken me to for just being obedient. I never thought in a million years, like really, that I would actually be sitting here telling you that I am the editor-in-chief of a vegan magazine. And so like I said, I started planning it. I started reaching out to me, and it's reaching out to other people like who are vegans. Like I said, I didn't know anything about it, and it's amazing the doors that God will open if you're just obedient. I'm like, whoa! Like people from overseas were contacting me and different things, like telling me that, oh, they need this kind of magazine or need this, and I was like, oh wow, like okay, Lord, there's a reason why I'm doing this. Truly a God vision, because it's not me doing this. It's like God just guiding my steps. Because like I said, I feel like I was unqualified. My own insecurity is, okay, Lord, how am I going to do a magazine? And I don't even have a journalism degree. I have a business marketing degree. And he was like, Lauren, I'll just guide you and lead you throughout this whole process. And he has. And so about maybe like 3 years ago, I'm sorry, I'm kind of jumping around. About 3 years ago, I had this this burning kind of desire to go to Australia. Many of my friends would tell you, like, I wanted to move there one while, and I didn't know why. I fell in love with this place, and God didn't even send me over there yet. And so, looking back now, I know God planted that desire to keep me alert. But he had to prepare me and work on my behalf and order my steps until it was time, well, he felt it was time for me to go. And so, that leads me to my next exciting news. Okay, so in October, guys, open doors, kind of crazy. In October, I have been invited to go to Australia. I know, kind of crazy. To actually participate in World Vegan Day. It's in Australia, as well as interview some top vegan vendors while I'm out there. And of course, I want to try to volunteer, because I can't travel somewhere and not volunteer and spread God's love through volunteering. So that's what I'll be doing. That's kind of the exciting news I want to share with you guys. You can read more about it on my actual blog post if you want in detail what happened. But that's exciting news. The magazine should actually be coming out, God willing, in December. But people know, or you should know, as a grassroots company, a lot of stuff is like based on finances. And so, not really based on finances, but finances play a huge role in like every move that you make. You have to make sure you plan everything right and everything like that. And so, to start a magazine, this magazine is gonna cost upwards of $15,000 to $20,000. I know, it's a car, but that's how much it costs to actually do a print edition of this magazine. And so later on, probably next month, I will be doing an actual Kickstarter campaign to actually raise the money for this. I know God didn't give me this vision just for like let it just fester and do nothing. So I'm believing in God that actually will be paid off, and we actually have a print edition by the end of this year. But before then, if you guys want to just donate to the cause, donate to like my trip to go to Australia, you can click the button below. I think it should be below. To donate, or if you can't donate financially, I appreciate just your support and just the love and the prayers that is equally appreciated throughout this whole process. But yeah, that's kind of like the new update. So if you have any questions, please feel free to like email me or text me or DM me or Facebook message me. But yeah, I just want to give you guys a little quick update of what's been going on with my life and what's the new updates, new changes. Love you guys. Mwah. Bye.